Tomorrow, Tuesday, June 21st at 1 p.m. in Washington, will be episode number 4 of the January 6 hearings, and since it will feature testifying by Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, this one is sure to fill the body and mind of the Orange Menace with continued joy and bliss, as we are sure to hear Brad recapping Trump's famous perfect phone call. You know, all his calls are perfect. He's either phoning overseas to extort a foreign leader, or he's making calls here at home to carry out one ripoff or another. Unfortunately for him, however, Brad saw fit to record the call, and now we're all going to be able to hear him tell the tale live on TV, and likely with the aid of the actual recording, in case anyone has any doubts. In other words, yet another instance demonstrating without a single shadow of a doubt the mendacity, the criminality, and the mind-staggering stupidity of the Orange Menace ex-president. You gotta love the way this low IQ and now also low energy imbecile thinks the world works. You lose an election. Solution. Simple. Just call the person in charge of counting the votes and tell him he should just find, in quotes, the number of votes you lost by and add them to your total so that you can win. There you have the perfect way to conduct yourself and to win elections, and then for good measure, even though you yourself are the one conducting the massive fraud, you accuse the opponent that beat you fair and square of being the fraudster. And that is Trump in a nutshell, a kind of ultra-toxic mix of mendacity, corruption, projection, stupidity, and shameless gaslighting. But of course, Liz isn't buying it, and neither is the rest of the committee, and neither, according to the most recent poll, are 58% of Americans, as well as 19% of Republicans, who think that he's a vile crook who should be charged for what he attempted to engineer on that fated January 6 in 2021. And the truth is, these hearings continue to be mostly, if not in totality, about the orange cockroach, and you can see this ever so clearly from the astrology. I've covered in 3 prior videos how the planets on the day and time of the event point so sharply to Trump's natal planetary positions, and definitely not in a good way. And tomorrow the show continues as we see the moon near the degrees of Jupiter and soon to sextile the Gemini Mercury, correlating with getting information out into public view, and Mercury, which rules the chart, provided the meeting starts on time. But if not, then Libra would rise and make Venus the ruler, so that the 8th house would get highlighted. And this is the last house Trump would want, since it makes it more likely hidden information and secrets make their way into the public eye. Most striking about that Moon-Jupiter conjunction in the 6-7 degree range of Aries, however, is that it is in degrees that irritate his infamous Access Hollywood T-square, a place that, when visited by transiting planets, makes the orange man squirm every time. Moreover, the summer solstice is the sun entering Cancer and therefore beginning to make its way into that same troubled sore spot, the Access Hollywood T, formed by Neptune, Eris, and Mercury, and it is due to go through the degrees of that place that Trump so intensely dislikes all of next week, including the new moon in Cancer on Tuesday the 28th. In other words, the extremely well-deserved public shaming of the mendacious cockroach continues through all of next week as well. Oh, and to add insult to injury, whereas that Jupiter position is extremely problematic for the criminally seditious ex-president, it's absolutely perfect for Liz Cheney in the limelight. So look for her to look good while he looks like the criminal clown that he is. Well, what can you say? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.